First of all, want to appreciate all of the members of the media that have come out on very short notice. We have been receiving calls from community, calls from others asking what can we do, how do we get involved, and we thought we could try to do this all at one point. There are literally hundreds of organizations and thousands of folks that are out in the community doing positive things, trying to help move our community in the right direction, in a positive direction, and we are continuing to do that. We know that there are a number of questions from people on how do I specifically get involved. So this is not representative of everybody, but it just gives you just kind of a cross-section of our community. You have neighborhood groups, you have faith leaders, you have people that just want to make a difference, you have people that are leading various organizations that are all here, Councilman Ben Gray as well. But we just wanted to hopefully answer some questions and then also be very specific about what are the things that we're doing currently, and then what are some ways that we specifically can address this spike in violence in our community. So I don't know if Councilman Gray or Barbara, if you want to start out first, either way.
Again, we just want to thank you all for coming, and we want to stand here together today, united as one community. We want everyone in the community to know that there are several different entities that you can reach out to. We have to come together. Omaha, we have to fight this together. We have to stop the violence that's going on in our community. It's time to stop burying our children. It's time to stop innocent babies from dying. It's time to stop keeping the secrets and come forth. All of us standing here together, we are all in agreement, and we are here to help.
There are people in our community who are hurting this week. They have lost friends, they have lost family, they have lost loved ones, and the perpetrators of these acts of violence, they are going to harm their families, hurt their children. It's time for this senseless foolishness to stop. Killing children ought to be unacceptable to all of us. But having all of these guns on the street and people thinking that it's okay to shoot at people is ridiculous. There are things we ought to be moving our city forward instead of having these news conferences to address violence that continues to occur. Let me say this and let me be clear about it. The intention of myself, my council members, our intention is and our mayor is to continue to move this city forward. My specific goal is to work with the Empowerment Network and all of the people that you see behind me today to continue to keep investment going in North Omaha and to build North Omaha up. And I promise you, we are not going to stop. We're going to continue to build, we're going to continue to move forward, and we will address the violence. We have mechanisms in place to address the violence. We're putting more and more avenues for employment into place. We are doing things to help with contracting and contractors. We're doing more things than we have done in any time that I can remember in the city of Omaha to address poverty, to address poor people, to provide employment. For people to feel as though they have the right to harm people in our community simply because they have a weapon, there's a place for them too. We want to try and help everybody gain employment and be the successful citizens that we know they all can be. But for those who are unwilling, I and others will do everything possible to make sure that you find your way to another institution that hopefully will help you understand about the mistakes that you have made, but make no mistake about it. This community, in spite of what has occurred, we are going to move forward. We are not going to stop. We have way more people in our community who are doing the right thing, way more families and others who are going to work every day, in some instances 2 or 3 jobs because they're underemployed. We have way more people who care about this community and want to build it up, to allow a few nitwits to tear it apart. And we will do all that we can on the city council and other places to address it. We will address it. We will find a way to catch you. People are speaking up more and more. As you get caught, keep in mind what we told you. We had a place for you over here to gain employment, to gain education, to do some other things. You sought not to do that. So now here is the other institution that we have for you that is going to take away your freedom, going to take away your rights to vote, and all other things. We are going to continue to move forward in spite of the foolishness. You are not going to stop us. It's that simple.
Councilman Gray mentioned, and we just want to make sure people recognize our goal from the beginning. Jamie Anders-Kemp, our Omaha 360 director, is here as well, is to make sure that we provide as many opportunities as possible. And we are always trying to move that forward. I just want to emphasize that there are a number of programs. When people ask what's going on, what are people doing, there is a reentry initiative that Goodwill is leading, and MCC is available right now. It's called a Restart Program for those that are reentering society from prison. There are opportunities for you to get housing, to get employment. We are also right now in the midst of expanding our Step Up Omaha program. This summer we had nearly 400. Right now we're running, for the first time ever, a pilot during the winter program where we have 50 young people, and we're looking to add to that that will be working over the holiday season, making sure that they have money to take care of their needs. There's also some additional programs through the Urban League. They have a boot camp. They are consistently recruiting additional people. So if you look at all of these various opportunities, there's well over 300 job opportunities available through whether it's Goodwill, through the reentry program, through MCC, through Step Up, the pilot program, as well as the Urban League. So we encourage people that really want to go in the right direction to contact those agencies, get yourself there, and allow them to work with you to get back on the right track. With that, we have pastors and we have primates from the Neighborhood Association. Want to ask any of you if you want to say a few words. The other thing I want to emphasize what Barbara said is this is a call to action for everyone. We all need to work together. We have to come together. Many of us work together collectively, but there are more people out there that want to get involved. There is a way and there is a place for you to get involved, so we encourage you to do that.
On behalf of Omaha 360 and the Faith Covenant arm of Omaha 360 and the First Responders Prayer Walks, we just want to encourage more churches, church leaders, pastors to get involved with what's going on in our community. I and Pastor Dave Girls from Christ for the City, we have probably been, I think this is probably the 45th or 46th homicide of this year. And we've probably been on just about all of them. But we need more faith leaders to stand up. We need more pastors to come and stand alongside of us. You know, it's important that we comfort, just like Ben said, there's a lot of hurting families that are out there, a lot of hurting people just this week alone. And we need more faith leaders, more pastors, more people to step up to comfort these individuals, because we need to work right along with everyone else, the police department. We need to work right along with all the community organizations so that together we can work better to help this community become a safer and a better community. And also, what can you do? Ask yourself, what can you do as a church, as a pastor, to help do your part to stop some of this senseless violence from going on. So we encourage more pastors, you know, come to the Omaha 360 meetings and find out how you can get more involved your church and get more involved in your neighborhood.
Promise Jones is the chair of the North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance.
Certainly on behalf of the North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance, over the last 5 days we've experienced some senseless shootings, idiots being out in the city doing things they know better than to be doing. Certainly on behalf of the North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance, we stand with the Omaha Police Department, with Omaha 360, with the Empowerment Network, showing our face and showing that you will not take over our neighborhoods. The one thing that I will share with you is that being on the phone today with several different neighborhood associations, several different neighborhood leaders, if you know something, call. There's no sense in letting people who don't pay rent, who don't own property, who don't have any business in this neighborhood to take over your neighborhood. So as part of the president of North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance, I caution you to take the opportunity to take back your streets now. First and foremost, call if something's going on in your neighborhood that you don't know what's going on. If there's someone in your neighborhood that doesn't belong there, make a phone call. Call Crime Stoppers. Call the Omaha Police Department. Call your neighbors. Let them know that there's someone out there that's not supposed to be out there, and let them know that we won't stand for this.
Does anyone else want to make any comment?
My name is Dr. Natalie Swift, and I'm here along with my co-chair, Jacqueline Cunningham. And I represent NADVAC, which is Nebraska African American Domestic Violence Coalition. Started in Lincoln around when there was a conversation prior to crises on what is the experience of African American women who are interfacing domestic violence. And from that, there was a study called What About the Walls? What is it about the walls that's separating the experience of African American women to get the services in the community? And out of that came a lot of findings that I'll share with you now, some of which felt that there were some difficulty in accessing services in the community, not feeling as comfortable going and seeking services, and wanting to have a better quality of service once received, and also wanting to be able to go to providers and have more of that cultural sensitivity and understanding of their experience. And so with that conversation, it continues here in Omaha, where we're developing a chapter of that here. And so it's a grassroots effort, NADVAC, which is the Nebraska African American Domestic Violence Coalition. And at this point, we're starting from a grassroots level, getting people on the ground to establish our vision and our mission, and really getting an assessment of data on what the current needs. Now, we know it's an issue, but we want to prioritize and understand where do we need to focus first, particularly in the sense of training and providing the culturally relevant training to providers that are already in Omaha. We also want to be able to get a sense of what are the communities saying as to why they may not be accessing the services from their perspective. And so we have a committee, assessment committee work group that's going to be gathering data, and we're going to synthesize and analyze that data so that we can prioritize our needs and how we'll be able to work with the existing services in Omaha, because there's already services that are doing good things and it's effective. But we want to be able to provide some aspects from that could be culturally appropriated, culturally competent to influence the services. And we also want to be able to let people know and integrate in the community in such a way that people will not be reticent to seek services. They will feel encouraged and empowered to seek help. And when they do seek help, it will be well received, and they too can go back and empower their local communities. So we'll be sharing more information with that. You can, if you're interested in learning more about what NADVAC is and wanting to be a part of that grassroots effort, I invite you to contact the Center for Holistic Development, which we're currently in partnership with, to be able to find out more information on how you can be a part of it.
We are also partnering with the DVC and with WCA because they are the initial service providers. It's WCA and the DVC, the Domestic Violence Council. So we are working together to bring every aspect of domestic violence and making sure that it's also something that is brought to the African American community with the resources, making sure that there's equality in services, that when the police are responding, that they know how to respond to victims of domestic violence. So we are excited about being able to do this. This particular incident started out as domestic violence and turned into a ripple effect now of violence that's throughout the community. And it saddens us to see that it started out there and there was no help. There was no reach out. There was no one that actually intervened. And now it's spreaded. And so we just want to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Okay.